How one person destroyed my childhood friend group. Growing up, I was lucky to have a solid group of friends. We came together in 7th grade and stuck like glue through thick and thin. Birthdays, exams, silly fights over cricket, we experienced everything together. For years, our group felt unshakable, like nothing and no one could come between us. Then one day, everything started to change. This new guy joined our group. Let's call him Ravi. At first, he seemed cool, a little too friendly, but no one thought much of it. Ravi had this way of blending in like he'd been there all along. He laughed at our jokes, remembered everyone's quirks, and made sure he was always available to hang out. But it wasn't long before I noticed something off. Ravi had this habit of hanging out with each of us privately, without telling the others. One day I'd hear he was at a movie with one of the guys, and the next he'd be at a cafe with someone else. He'd ask personal questions, stuff like, "What do you think about ABC?" Or "Does XYZ ever annoy you?" At first it felt harmless, like he was just trying to fit in. But the more he asked, the clearer it became that he wasn't just being curious. Ravi was fishing for gossip, and it felt calculated. I tried to ignore it, but things got worse. Ravi started paying for everything: food, movie tickets, even random treats at the bakery after school. It felt strange, like he was buying everyone's trust. And maybe he was. Soon I noticed a shift. My closest friend, someone I'd always shared everything with, started drifting away. Ravi had gotten close to him, and it felt like I was being pushed out of my own circle. The jokes we used to share, the inside references that only we understood, everything now had Ravi's stamp on it. And then, just like that, the group was divided. Somehow, Ravi managed to split us into 2 groups. I wasn't even sure how it happened. It was so gradual. One day we were all hanging out together, and the next, it was 2 separate plans that no one bothered to tell me about. I stayed out of the drama. I hated the politics, the side-picking, the whispers behind each other's backs. But in avoiding the mess, I became invisible. Both groups started avoiding me. At first, I thought it was temporary, like maybe they'd realize this was all nonsense and come back together. But things only got worse. One of the guys got into a cold war with another over something petty. I heard through the grapevine that one of them had declared, "I'm not hanging out with him anymore, and if you go with him, I'm not coming either." It was heartbreaking. These were my childhood friends, guys I'd grown up with, who knew me better than anyone else. And now? They hated each other over stuff that didn't even matter. And where was Ravi in all this? Gone. He moved to another city, leaving behind the mess he created. The group was shattered, and he didn't even stick around to see the damage. I think what hurts the most is knowing it didn't have to end like this. We had something real, something that should have lasted. But one person's manipulation was all it took to destroy years of friendship. If I could go back, I'd confront Ravi the moment I realized what he was doing. Maybe things would have been different. So if you ever have someone like Ravi in your group, someone who thrives on drama and divides people, don't ignore it. Speak up before it's too late. Because once it's gone, you can't get it back.